Defining activities in project management plan is a vital step in successfully planning and executing projects. Project managers rely on numerous inputs that give critical knowledge and context to successfully define activities. The project management plan, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets are the three key inputs for identifying activities as discussed in detail in this lecture. Understanding these inputs is critical for defining tasks properly and guaranteeing project success. Project Management Plan. The project management plan is a detailed document that specifies how the project will be carried out, monitored, regulated, and closed. It is an important input for defining activities since it provides critical information such as specifying the project's goals, deliverables, and limits, outlining the broad scope of the project which influences the tasks to be outlined, describing the approach used to create and manage the project schedule. It explains how actions should be scheduled, estimated, and regulated. It determines the resources needed for the project. During the activity definition phase, it directs the allocation of resources to certain activities. It describes the method for discovering, analyzing, and responding to project hazards. It aids in identifying high risk activities and implementing risk mitigation strategies into their description. The project management plan further includes the schedule management plan. The schedule management plan is a subsidiary plan that defines how the project schedule will be developed, monitored, and controlled. It provides guidelines for scheduling techniques, tools, and methodologies to be used during the project. And it aids in understanding the project's time constraints, milestones, dependencies, and resource availability, all of which inform the definition of activities. Scope baseline. The scope baseline, which comprises the project scope statement, work breakdown structure, and work breakdown structure dictionary, is a component of the project management plan. It is used as a guide to determine the actions needed to accomplish the project scope. Project managers can identify deliverables, sub-deliverables, and work packages that need to be described as activities by evaluating the scope baseline. Enterprise environmental factors. External factors that impact the project and its execution are referred to as enterprise environmental factors. These elements provide useful insights into the activity definition process at various stages. When identifying activities, regulatory restrictions and industry-specific standards must be considered. Compliance mandates have an influence on activity sequencing, resource allocation, and risk management. Market trends, client expectations, and the competitive environment are all current. Consider market-specific requirements and limits while defining activities. Needs, preferences, and expectations of stakeholders about project deliverables and outcomes. It assists in the development of activities that meet the needs of stakeholders and assure their satisfaction. The culture, values, and conventions of the organization that impact project execution. Cultural elements must be considered during activity definition to guarantee alignment with organizational practice. Organizational process assets. Organizational process assets include internal resources, rules, procedures, and historical data. These assets contribute to the definition of activities by lessons learned, best practices, and project performance statistics from the past. Based on previous experiences, assist in forecasting activity durations, recognizing dangers, and optimizing resource allocation. Standardized activity definition templates, guidelines, and checklists facilitates uniform and efficient activity development across projects, ensures policies, processes, and guidelines for project management activities have been established. It ensures that organizational standards are followed while defining activities. It provides information, documentation, and knowledge repositories from prior initiatives. And it provides insights and reference resources to help in activity definition. Project managers may successfully improve the content of their project documentation by using the information, context, and recommendations offered in these inputs. These inputs are useful for describing project tasks and ensuring that they are appropriately defined and linked with the overall project objectives. Furthermore, the data contained in these inputs assist project managers in developing a thorough strategy for project execution and monitoring. Using the information supplied, project managers may determine the particular activities, resources, and dates needed to perform each assignment effectively. This in turn increases the project's overall success chances. See you in the next lecture.